For 15 years, Johnny Depp has been regarded as one of the finest actors of his generation. Born in Kentucky, he moved to Los Angeles in his teens with the hopes of carving out a career in music. He started acting to pay the bills and soon landed the starring role in the television series 21 Jump Street. While he could have had a conventional career as a leading man, he has instead made a career of choosing unusual roles. Edward Scissorhands, Ed Wood, Donnie Brasco, and What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
If anybody ever hits you, or even just lays a finger on you, what are you going to do, Arnie? You're going to tell me, and then I'm going to take care of it for you, right? And why will I take care of it?
Gilbert. So you're Gilbert.
Because I'm Gilbert. Because nobody hurts Arnie, right?
We came here to find the American dream. Now that we're right in the vortex, you want to quit? You must realize, man, we found the main nerve.
That's what gives me the fear.
Look.
What?
There's two women eating a polar bear.
There's some beautiful thing.
Why don't you give it to your wife?
My wife? How am I gonna give it to my wife? I ain't married.
You got a girlfriend?
Yeah, I got a girlfriend, yeah.
So marry her. What I'm saying to you is you should give it to somebody that don't know any better, because that's a fugazi. All right?
Every day I gotta do something rotten for my parents' sake, and I'll cry for what I have to do. But not much, though. One single salty tear is all they'll ever suck out of this crybaby.
I am Don Juan. And if you will not medicate me for these 10 days, I will prove it to you.
All right, and what if I don't believe that you're Don Juan?
Then I will take your medication. Do we have an agreement? Do I have these 10 days to tell you my story? I'm about to tell you something that I never told any girl on a first date. But I think it's important that you know I like to wear women's clothes. I like to wear women's clothes. Panties, brassieres, sweaters, pumps. It's just something I do.
Thrilling experience of my whole life.
His latest project, Sleepy Hollow, marks his third collaboration with director Tim Burton. I am pleased to have Johnny Depp back on this program. Now, when you watch that, first of all, you've never seen Gilbert Grape.
I've never seen Gilbert Grape, no.
Anything else in there you haven't seen, a movie that you have made?
I haven't seen Sleepy Hollow yet.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm kind of masochistic in that way. I'm going to wait until the premiere to see it, which is really...
Because you want the joy of seeing it for the first time at the premiere?
Yeah, well, joy is not the word I would... I mean,
pain?
Yeah, I mean, if I could not see the movies, I think I'd be better off. I get very uncomfortable watching myself. It feels strange. You know?
Would you like being an actor?
I do, most of the time. Most of the time. I mean, there are some occupational hazards that I could live without, but yeah, I mean, it's a good job. It's
okay, but I mean, is it art and passion and all that for you, or is it simply craft and like a good plumber, I'm going to do a good job and move on?
I mean, it's passion, certainly. Art, I would say I would aspire to be able to do something that's considered art. I'm not sure that that can be done in the movie industry, the movie business, because of that fact. It's the movie business. There's commerce involved.
Because of the demands that they make in terms of box office, or their assumptions about box office?
Assumptions about box office, demands about box office results, return on the money, all that stuff. Things that really are none of my business. You know? I mean, when my job is done, it's done. And so,
You set out to be a musician, and you got into this for a lot of reasons, and you are, you know,
yes.
highly regarded.
Oh.
Is it the downside of it, the loss of privacy?
Yeah. Yeah, the loss of privacy, kind of, even more than just the loss of privacy, the sort of aggressive invasion on your privacy, on your private life. It's very strange because you are treated in some circumstances as a novelty. And that's a very uncomfortable position to be in. I mean, mostly by this, particularly like the paparazzi. They have a tendency to be pretty aggressive.
You're back with Burton.
Yeah.
Scissorhands, Ed Wood.
Yeah.
What else? Is this the third?
Yeah, this is the third.
Yeah. There is that kind of slant about you, which you and Burton share.
Yeah, I think we connect on these kinds of levels. Yeah.
Well, what other kinds of levels?
I think we share a similar sense of humor. For some reason, on this film, we had a particular obsession with Georgie Jessel.
I heard about this, yeah. Give me your best Jessel.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Georgie Jessel here.
Yeah, it got so bad, I mean, our obsession with Georgie Jessel, that literally they'd roll camera and the guy would do the sticks, and I'd just be getting ready to walk into frame, you know, to begin the scene, and suddenly I would hear,
and action!
And it was Tim doing Georgie Jessel. And then, of course, at the end of the scene,
cut!
You know? So we were sort of obsessed with Georgie Jessel, and why aren't there people like Georgie Jessel today?
At this stage in a relationship where you both are on the same wavelength, where you've done several things before, is there much communication about what you're doing and what he wants you to do and where you've married those two?
Tim is particularly amazing in that way for an actor. He's a dream for an actor because he will give you suggestions and he'll plant certain seeds, and then you take that and you use that as an ingredient. But he allows you complete freedom to create a character from the ground up. Even there were times, I mean, before we did Scissorhands, he rehearsed everyone. He didn't rehearse me. He didn't really know exactly what I was going to do when I walked on the set. Same thing with Ed Wood. I mean, I spent the first 2 weeks of Ed Wood and Scissorhands, and in fact Sleepy Hollow, thinking that I was going to be fired. I was going to be replaced. Because I just thought, there's no way I can get away with this. There's just no way. But luckily Tim was happy with the stuff, and I didn't lose my job.
You're not serious.
Oh yeah, I swear to you. I swear to you. I can remember when we were doing Scissorhands, we were living in this sort of resort, some kind of country club thing, and there was a knock at the door. This is like 1990. There was a knock at the door one afternoon, and everybody was off rehearsing. And there were two young girls at the door, so I figured, well, they found me, and maybe they want me to sign something. I don't know. You know, you get used to sort of conditioning. So I opened the door. I said, how do you do? And they said, hi. And they said, is Tom Hanks here? Does he live here? I said, what? They said, does Tom Hanks live here? And I said, no, not yet.
Not that I know of.
And I was convinced that Hanks would be replacing me. I was convinced.
That's great.
It was one of the most frightening moments in my career.
You don't seem to be the kind of guy that would have an insecurity in your body. I mean, you seem to say, take life on my terms. If you don't like it, fine. If you don't, I mean, you know.
That makes more insecurities. No, I got plenty. I got plenty. But I do feel a kind of need to follow what it is, whatever it is I'm after. I mean, I need to bash on into the direction that I'm going. Yeah, it's important to do what you want without much compromise.
Sure, sure. I mean, but at the same time, it's important to be a professional because other people, and they have a certain element of accountability. And yes.
Yeah. I mean, professional is a good thing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Try not to be late. All that stuff.
Well, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
You know, then we owe it to our fellow.
Oh, you bet. Yeah, you got
camera people.
When you got 100 people sitting on a set, waiting for you. Yeah, you get the long face when you arrive. No, I don't do that.
You don't do that. All right, Ichabod Crane. We're going to tell the story. I mean, we know the story, but in this case, he plays. You are a police constable.
Yes.
Who come up to Sleepy Hollow to do what?
Basically, Ichabod Crane in this version of Sleepy Hollow is a constable in New York City, and he is not well liked by his fellow officers and by the brass.
Pray tell why.
He's sort of he fancies himself a kind of ahead of his time, so he's invented these kind of forensic, for forensic studies, and he's invented these sort of tools and things like that. And he's a pretty self-righteous type guy, and he's not liked at all. So he's sent away to Sleepy Hollow to investigate these sort of gruesome murders.
He's also a coward.
He's a complete coward, yes. He's a total coward,
All right. Here is the scene from Sleepy Hollow where Ichabod Crane is being briefed on the murders in Sleepy Hollow. Here it is.
3 persons murdered. First, Peter Van Garrett and his son, Dirk Van Garrett. Both of them strong, capable men, found together, decapitated. 1 week later, the widow Winship, also decapitated. Now, I will need to ask you many questions. But first, let me ask you, is anyone suspected?
How much have your superiors explained to you, Constable?
Only that the 3 were slain in open ground, their heads found severed from their bodies.
Their heads were not found severed. Their heads were not found at all.
It's a great cast of people. I mean, Michael, the great Gabon.
Michael Gambon is a genius. Yeah. All those guys. I mean, walking into that room, that was one of the first days of shooting, maybe the first day of shooting. And walking into that room with Michael Gambon, Miranda Richardson, Richard Griffiths, Jeffrey Jones, Ian McDermott, it doesn't get better. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that.
You learn from them?
Absolutely. You become a sponge and soak up as much as you can, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, when Michael was here, he came by on the stage. I mean, he's just amazing.
Yeah, he's also completely out of his mind. He's one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. He's totally out of his mind.
See, I would think that would make movies fun. The idea, if you can come together on a project with a group of people with a common purpose, it's not a lifetime, and engage in something together.
Yes.
Eat together, have fun together.
You bet.
Be committed to the craft of doing it well. Bring in a reservoir of experience and talent.